Welcome to Detecting Intelligence, the only show that treats AI like a crime scene. We bag the evidence, dust the hype for fingerprints, and interrogate the breakthroughs. Then we ask the only question that matters. Are we closer to AGI? Let's find out. Here are your hosts, Frank and Ronnie.
GM Frank.
How are you today?
I'm doing good, buddy. Yeah, I'm looking at our intro there. Yeah, we need to update that. I don't know. The colors look faded in that video, and now with our background, it's nice and sharp and saturated, and the color pops. Yeah, we need to fix that. I need to fix that. Anywho, GM folks, welcome to Detecting Intelligence. What's today? Today is Tuesday, the last day of March 31st. And I am your co-host Ronnie, aka Dr. Manhattan, and I'm joined by my co-host Frank, aka Frank Zuring. Frank, you're good, bud, on this fine Tuesday?
Doing good, just not wearing the jacket today at home here. Just have a few things that I'm trying to work through for the end of the month, but I should be back in the office tomorrow with the coat on and looking a little bit more pro than I am right now.
Love it. Also, shout out and happy belated birthday to Batman, whose birthday was yesterday. And also the happy anniversary to the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie that appeared in theaters yesterday. I don't know, 38, something, 40, whatever years ago. Batman, I don't know how old Batman is. Batman might be 88, 90, something like that.
Pretty old, yeah.
I think Batman is in his 80s. Interesting. It's in a character that is going to pretty much exist as long as humanity is around. So that is, it's almost like a godlike figure Batman is.
I think Ninja Turtles are kind of up there as well too, and it's hard to believe it's already that long since the first movie came out.
Really, and still like the current generation are into Turtles, and of course because they're still making content to target those age groups. But still good, amazing. It's especially when you consider the comic wasn't necessarily too dark, but the first movie was. The first movie was dark, and I think that's what hooked a lot of people.
Except for when what was his name there? Ice Baby.
Yeah, right.
Go Turtles, go Turtles, go.
Yeah, I think I told you or whatever. At least I shared it on my socials. So that was in the theaters. They remastered it.
I didn't know that.
So yeah, I went to go see it in the theaters a couple of weeks ago, and I'm not even sure I saw it when it came out in theaters. But anyways, yeah, so I got to see it as a young adult a couple of weeks ago, and it was great. It was nice. What? Why are you laughing? Because I said young adult and I'm full of gray hair.
I think we're maybe in the young seniors now.
How about you, Frank?
Oh man! Actually, I saw there was a commercial on here in Canada the other day on our news channel that one of my friends turned 50 not too long ago, and the commercial said, for seniors 50 and over, and I screenshotted it, took a picture of it, I'm like, dude, you're a senior now.
Yeah.
He didn't like that too much.
No, I don't like it either. But all right, so let's jump right into it, folks. Well, all right, well, let's just give people a gist of the show. Looks like we have a couple of viewers here. If you're not a bot, why don't you just go ahead and say hi in the comments or something. Just make sure it's not offensive. That's all. But even though Frank and I can take a joke, we just want to know if you're actually human people watching us. But anywho, are there any other kinds of people other than human people? No, right?
Not yet. I mean, we'll find out on Disclosure Day.
We'll find out on Disclosure Day. But anyways, no, Frank and I are here every weekday, 9 a.m. Eastern. And we're talking about all the latest AI, AGI, crypto, Web3, all that stuff. But mostly we're going to be talking about AI stuff here today. I'm sorry, Frank, I cut you off. Were you trying to make fun of me again?
No, I'm trying to poke the bear here. Get Ronnie going on lots of different topics today. Ninja Turtles, aliens.
Well, we only have 17 minutes left, so thankfully we won't be able to go too long. All right, let's get it up on the stage here.
Awesome.
Let me fix this, and then we'll get into it. All right, so Mantis Biotech is developing digital twins of humans, high fidelity, physics-based simulations built from synthetic data. That's ChatGPT that made that sentence run on like that. Sorry. To solve one of healthcare AI's biggest bottlenecks. You can tell I haven't read this yet. Lack of quality, diverse data, especially for rare conditions. All right. And so instead of relying solely on real patient data, which is limited, regulated, and ethically sensitive, they generate realistic virtual humans that can be tested, analyzed, and predicted without risking privacy. And predicted? Okay, I guess that makes sense. I don't know. I'm not a English major. Think of it as turning the human body into a simulatable system like a wind tunnel for biology. Simulatable system. I've never heard that word before.
It's very complex phrases here.
Very complex phrases for, a college dropout from Queens with a limited vocabulary. But anywho, yeah, this is really interesting. Personally speaking, before I let you chime in, Frank, I have always been fascinated with the topic of human cloning, simply for the fact that, and for understandable, justifiable reasons that of why we haven't done it yet. But because there's such a huge question mark on what would happen if an entire human was cloned. Now, of course, I think for the most part, we understand that you're not going to get the carbon copy inside and out of the human you're cloning, for so many reasons of, for the human experience that the original clone has gone through. You would just have to copy every single thing, everything else in order to attempt to even get, a full 100% copy. But anyways, I've been fascinated about the topic for a really long time. So if this is the closest we're ever going to get to it, then yeah, I'm really happy that this Mantis Biotech is attempting this in a digital way.
Yeah, it's super interesting. I think just from personalized medicine as well, too, right? One thing I've heard is that when we're looking at like different types of treatments, especially in the cancer realm, everyone's cancer is unique to them. It's not necessarily always the same type of cancer across different individuals, and that's always been one of the biggest obstacles with coming up with a cure for cancer. Is that at least from how I understand it, is that everyone's cancer is unique. So I remember hearing a few years ago about this whole DIY bio trend that was kind of going on, and how this is going to usher in a new era for medicine, a personalized medicine, and that in the future, if you get cancer, you could have your own prescription customized for your gene makeup and the gene makeup of the cancer you have, and you just get a prescription, take a pill, and it's like having a common ailment that is just cured through prescription. I think this is kind of a step towards that path. Like if we look at being able to synthesize our own makeup and our own body of what makes us us, it really allows these systems to start experimenting and see potential outcomes and how things will interact and simulate these scenarios rather than having to do like trials and see if it actually works in real life. So yeah, I think this is a super interesting move, especially for the medical side. That's one of the fields that I'm most excited about with AI, is this whole medical side of things.
I was on mute that whole time, and I agree with everything you just said, Frank. There's a leaf blower right outside my window. Can you hear that?
I can't. No, we're good.
Okay, great. If you can, just let me know and I'll figure it out. But anyways, so to answer our debate question from our newsletter that y'all be getting soon, hopefully sign up for. That's what we always kind of, the main topic, the main stories that we're going to be going over on the show. We always leave it with a debate question for y'all to, join and chime in with. And so the debate question is, are digital human twins the ethical gray area we must navigate before fully realizing AGI in healthcare? So I posed the question to ChatGPT, and short answer, yes, but not in a dangerous way. they're less a red flag and more a necessary bridge between ignorance and precision. And I think that's a great response. And I think it kind of agrees to what you're saying as well. And we're already doing this in other. I have to imagine we're doing this. And the military is doing this, simulating scenarios. And I just saw this new website, and I forgot the name of it, but I thought it was pretty interesting. There was this new somebody vibe coded a website where you can simulate in the United States. You can pretend to be the president and pass policies and simulate and see how the country responds to it.
Oh, that's cool. That's interesting.
Right? That was really interesting. I'm like, okay. I mean, but I don't know how accurate that's going to be because there's so many, variables in play here. But I thought it was pretty cool. But anyway, so that was just a political simulation that you can do. But yeah, no, this is really interesting, and it just I just think about where we are with where we are currently with technology. These systems are just going to get better. So having a digital twin to bounce these systems off of, and see what happens as far as breakthroughs with cures and diseases and all that stuff. So yeah, no, I'm on board with this. But of course the concern is always the data. This is a lot more data. And even though it's it's invasive in a way that it's asking for a lot more information of your internal workings. So
yeah, for sure.
So yeah. Anywho, all right. Well, let's get into the next one here. That was really cool. Stop that screen. And yes, here is this one. StarCloud. StarCloud just raised $170 million to build data centers in space, betting that orbit could become the next frontier for AI compute. Here's the pitch. Move compute off Earth to bypass energy limits, land constraints, and political friction. But the entire model hinges on cheaper, high-frequency rocket launches that don't exist yet. Right now, space-based AI is more prototype than powerhouse, but the ambition is massive. Orbital compute grids serving AI workloads globally. This is super interesting. All right, what are your thoughts on here? And Frank, the good, the bad, the ugly. What do you think?
Well, I think it makes a lot of sense. This company, StarCloud, has also elevated to unicorn status very quickly, which actually it even says right there, it's one of the fastest startups to reach this status. From Y Combinator, which is obviously a very large incubator that has been very successful at producing some big run companies. I think that says everything, right? Everyone knows data is the new oil for this era that we're in, and one of the hardest components is how do you get all this super compute and storage cold, which there's a lot of concern right now about water consumption to cool these massive data centers. Well, that's one of the benefits of space is you don't have to be concerned about cooling, and you've got abundant energy. Like if you look at solar and being directly in outer space and access to the sun 24/7, I mean it checks a lot of boxes, but it'd be interesting to see, how much clutter this can add to our atmosphere, or not atmosphere, but orbit, I guess you could say, of the planet. I know that's a big concern. Maybe these things need to get shipped off to the moon. Maybe this is why the U.S. is going to the moon. I don't know. I think it's the move, though. I think we have to go this way. It's really the only practical way. But then I also wonder about security, how are we going to protect these systems if they're just floating around out there and people could shoot them down or debris could collide into them, and I don't know. Lots to debate on this.
I can't believe I'm blanking on the name. What are the bad guys in Star Wars? What are they called? Starship Troopers?
Oh yeah, Stormtroopers.
Stormtroopers, yes. That I was like, yeah, we're gonna need stormtroopers orbit in space patrolling these orbiting data centers that are floating over our head. Because uh, is this? I mean, we're really moving towards Star Wars. And we've kind of already seen it already with with satellites already orbiting, already orbiting Earth that are maneuverable. And who knows if some of those already are equipped with some sort of weapon system or defense system. This is a really interesting this is a really interesting game. But all right, so the debate question is: will the race to space for AI infrastructure redefine national security dynamics? Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely yes. Here's ChatGPT's answer: yes, but not immediately, and of course for obvious reasons that we're not there yet. But the rest of the response is: this is a slow burn geopolitical shift that could become massive. Yes, 100%. This is a new war that we are going to be upon pretty soon. My beef with all this is, I mean, I'm a futurist, I'm a technologist. I want to see all this stuff. I think it's really cool. Like wireless energy, wireless data, all that stuff. Well, we already have wireless data. I'm sorry, but like wireless energy, like all that stuff, I find really cool and interesting. My beef with it is I just wish, if things were going a little bit better here, on the on the land under our feet, I'd be a little bit more gung ho and excited about spending all this money and driving all this attention and energy towards building this stuff out. Do I think we can walk and chew gum? Sure. But it's just, yeah, I just wish things were a little bit more, we're going a little bit better here at home, before we focus on all this money on, I think we'll be able to achieve this. I don't think it's that complicated, but it's very complex ordeal. Don't get me wrong, but we'll get it done. I mean, we put a man on the moon. We're already talking about putting people on Mars, even though right now it's a one-way trip. But so this, large boxes in space, yeah, well, I'm sure we'll be able to figure it out. I just wish we can figure out, homelessness and stuff here first, not to put it, not to always bring things back here, but I guess that's my role in our little duo here. But I always try to, ground things before we, while we're, speculating all these things, out in space. But anyways, Frank, yeah, let me start rambling here, and and please respond to what I just said.
Yeah, no, I mean, you make an interesting point for sure. There's certainly a lot to be said for the geopolitical situation around the world right now. And I think that also would be a bit of a concern as well for the security of these devices in space.
I mean, isn't there a crap ton of stuff already orbiting? I mean, we've seen those maps that are tracking what's floating out there. I mean, and I forgot who said this. I don't know if it was Wired or whoever, but saying that there might be a point where there are so many things orbiting space that like if we wanted to take a vacation on the moon, it might be really hard to do or impossible if we get to a certain point where things are just so many things floating out there that we might not be able to leave the Earth's orbit.
I think there's a lot of concern that it's a growing issue, right? And especially with these things that are out there, some are large, like the size of a vehicle, and some are like tiny, the size of a grain of sand. I think the problem is that they get moving at such high speeds that if they were to collide with anything, they can pose a serious risk. And it would make you wonder too about these data centers, how they would fit in the event that something collided with it. Like, what is the backup, right? Like, it would be interesting. I'm sure they would have that part figured out, but maybe the answer is this needs to go off planet completely. Go to the moon.
Now let's consider the two stories that we just talked about. And look, we have 5 listeners now. This is great. Thank you for tuning in if you're an actual human. So considering the title of the show today, let's go back and chat about that for a second. So we were just at the start of the show, we were talking about a digital twin. So a digital twin, pretty much, everything except for obviously your flesh is going to be copied and sitting on a computer somewhere. That needs to be backed up. There probably needs to be a few different versions of that. just to, make sure that there's a safe, clean, uncorrupted copy of it. You're going to need a few of those. Probably going to need a few of those backed up in one of these data centers in space.
Yeah, 100%.
And maybe to protect it even further, we might have to build some of these data centers to orbit Venus or something like that. And then you're going to have for safety reasons, there's going to have to be a digital twin living on those servers, those data centers that are opening up a different planet. Anyway, this is really spooky, but yet fascinating stuff that we're talking about here. And then I think I retweeted something from Anthropic yesterday. I think Anthropic was saying that that Claude itself is that they're using it a lot, and that the engineers are pretty much just observing Claude build all these new tools, and they're just kind of they're supervising more than creating. And this is just a really exciting time to be alive right now. It's just every day it's a new advancement and improvement, and new startup that wants to do something or change the way that that we've been doing things for so long. I think those two things go hand in hand. I think we're going to have digital twins of ourselves, copies of ourselves, backups of ourselves on these data centers. And I can't help but think of that TV series that we watched, Altered Carbon. I think I'm due to rewatch that show. I love that show so much. It was so good. But I think I'm going to go back and watch Altered Carbon soon. Yeah, because these things are just kind of tying together more and more every day. Rant over.
Yeah, I mean, you're bang on, right? Like, I think this is a very exciting time that we're able to discuss all of these things, and that there's companies that are making these big leaps forward. I'm super excited about the potential launch again of the Artemis program tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be, just another signal of this like crazy new era that we're living in. So yeah, I'm just I'm excited for it. I'm here for it, and I think with even what we're trying to uncover here with AGI and intelligence this year and next year, I can't even imagine what next year is going to look like, considering everything that we're already off to this year with. So.
I know. I wish we could. I almost wish we could kind of have like a time machine or something, like we could just take a peek, like 12 months, just 12 months, and see what the current models are, and if OpenClaw is still kind of king of the king of the LLMs or whatever, not LLMs, but king of the agents. Because now Hermes agent is kind of making some noise now, and has been for the past couple of weeks. Have you did you install it yet? Have you tried it? Have you played around with it?
No, I'm 100% OpenClaw right now. So, but I got a couple of cool developments I've been working on with Paperclip, and having an AI run company that my OpenClaw acts as my representative for. So. Yeah, maybe we can share some details around that in a future episode.
That sounds like a digital twin.
I mean, it's getting close.
Right, it's getting close. Well, anywho, we might be. We only have 2 stories. We normally have 3. I don't know, Frank. Did anything come out in the last 24 hours that we kind of want to bring up right now?
No, I think let's wrap there. That's been good for today.
We'll wrap there.
And just to let everybody know as well, Ronnie and I are getting together tomorrow for power sessions, just to kind of finalize the few details here for our site and our newsletter. So we'll be looking to share that with you in the very near future. And yeah, lots of exciting things to come.
All right. If you're joining for the first time, for now, that's the indicator that that's been a show. So thanks for tuning in, folks. If you are not a bot, really appreciate your human time. And Frank will be back here again tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern, and talking about whatever the hell happened today. But other than that, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, everybody.
Today's evidence is logged. The timeline has been updated, and the future remains under investigation. If you found this useful, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss the next analysis. You can also drop your questions in the comments. We read them, we use them, we investigate them. And for deeper dives, join the newsletter at detectingintelligence.com. Thanks for watching. See you next time, friend.